How's everybody doing? This is a YouTube video on somebody who I used to watch and who I used to actively agree with. During the whole Gamergate thing, the feminist versus anti-feminist thing, I sided with the anti-feminists because I'm not a feminist. And I seem to agree with what they were saying because most of the feminists were making claims like, oh, everything's sexist, everything's homophobic, everything is racist, all that stuff. And they seemed to be trying to change the video gaming industry because they considered it to be sexist, when in fact, I really didn't consider it to be that sexist. And there was just a lot of cherry picking by them. However, during the years, this YouTuber, who I'm going to exclaim who it is, Sargon of Akkad, he started to, lose his thunder, right? He started to lose his critical thinking, the way he critically thought. And in doing so, he basically kind of showed himself to be a shill to his viewers. And he claims that he's a classical liberal. No. You're a conservative, okay? Let's not dance around semantics. But, ever since, the skeptic community cracked open and all the skeptics started merely just being SJW-like, and the fact that he tried to suspend social justice courses. He's a free thinker, but let's ban all the courses that I don't agree with, despite the fact that he's a college dropout and really doesn't know how the university system works. Not to mention the fact that his reading comprehension skills are actually quite low, as well as his critical thinking skills. So, when I was looking on YouTube, and I saw that Sargon of Akkad had made a video about why he doesn't criticize the right, I kind of got giddy, because I was like, I really want to see this video. I really want to see what he has to say. So this is a video response to what he has to say. I'm not going to respond to the whole video, because that might take a whole day, because it's a 25-minute video. It's quite a long video. Almost 25 minutes long. So I'm just going to respond to the important parts. You can watch his video. I'm going to post it in the description just so that everyone knows that I'm not taking his words out of context. So here we go.
I rarely criticize the right because I don't really care about the right.
You don't criticize the right because you don't care about them. That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
As far as I'm concerned, they're normally in the wrong.
Okay, so if they're normally in the wrong, then why don't you criticize them?
And so it's just, I just haven't got any time for them. I don't want to improve them.
So inversely, you have enough time for liberal, left-wing, far left-wing social justice warriors. Are you kind of understanding why this is just a bullshit answer?
Basically. Because when a sensible person receives criticism, even if that criticism is harshly delivered and with an eye to mockery, a sensible person will remove their ego from the situation and then analyse the mockery and the criticism and find the, to find the actual criticism, and then say, right, okay, is that something about myself that they have a legitimate point about? And if someone sensible does that, then they'll take pains to try and fix that problem. Even if it's a long process, they'll say, okay, I'll try and do this in future. I don't want that to happen to the right.
You don't want the right wing to be able to take criticism in a sensible way in which they are ruling out their personal ideals when listening to them? You are going to merely restrict that to the left. You want the left to be able to do that. Only. You don't want the right to be able to do that. either because the right already does it, or again, you said that you don't care. I'm just making sure that I'm correct here, because you don't make any sense.
I don't think I can make them improve in the ways I want, like I think I could the left. Or maybe that's just me rationalizing. Maybe it's because I always considered myself the lefty, and so I want to improve my team.
It's not you rationalizing it or attempting to rationalize it. It's you attempting to pull bullshit out of your ass. And you're not doing a very good job of it.
But either way, I don't know what I'd say to them. I would basically be having the same arguments you have with them. And so I don't think it'd be all that productive or all that remarkable.
No, you know exactly what you would say to them. It's just that you're too much of a pussy to do it, because you know that these people are conservative, who are your fans, who are your supporters, who pay your bills, who force you to not have to get a real job. If you bring up or criticize conservative ideals, much like Thunderfoot did, you've learned from Thunderfoot, who lost a bunch of subscribers for criticizing Brexit and Donald Trump. That's the reason why you don't do it. You're too afraid to do it. You know exactly what you're going to say to them.
Or even worth listening to. And honestly, I think there are a lot of people on the left who feel how I feel. I mean, I did an audience survey back when I had about 300,000 subscribers, and about 67-70% of my subscriber base consider themselves left-wing. They're just really pissed off at the left because of this collectivist identity politics bullshit, because they're individualist liberals. And they want some fucking representation, I think, in a lot of ways. They want to know that someone is saying the things that they believe, that they can see the problems with their left, because that's how I feel. I mean, for fuck's sake. I have to be the gadfly in this situation, because you don't seem to understand how cancerous the left is.
I'm not going to speak to his supposed poll because I wasn't there and I didn't see it. So I'm just going to take his word for that whole thing. Not to mention, yes, I do agree that aspects of the left are cancerous. Just like there are aspects of the right that are cancerous as well. Why don't you talk about it? Why don't you expose it like you should?
I mean, the right is not good to poor people.
That is an interesting topic. Why don't you talk about why the right is bad to poor people?
But I don't think they're trying to actively undermine Western civilization.
So Western civilization is more important to you than poor people?
I don't think they're going to start pumping out an ideology that's going to advocate for, like, open borders.
NAFTA, or the National Free Trade Agreement, which didn't allow for completely open borders, but less secure borders between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, was the bill was a conservative bill, drafted and put into order by a conservative president. I don't think Sargon knows what he's talking about here.
Advocate for communism and socialism and all this sort of crap that's infested the left.
Sargon, I know a lot of liberals, right? And said liberals are not communists or socialists. I don't think you know what communism or socialism is. You know, welfare, that's not communism or socialism. Universal health care or health insurance, that's not communism or socialism.
I don't think they're going to do any of that sort of shit. I think at worst they will be mildly oppressive to poor people.
You think the worst that conservatives can be is mildly oppressive to poor people? You're an idiot, bro. You think the worst thing about conservatives is the fact that they're oppressive to poor people. You have truly gone full Macintosh. I don't think there's a single way back.
And I say mildly, I don't think they're going to be that oppressive to poor people and minorities. It'll be like, well, you just have to, and I would advocate against it. Whatever form of oppression they're imposing, I would definitely advocate against it. But the things that the left are fucking arguing for and fighting for are so systemically catastrophic in the long run if they were to get their way. And they call themselves radicals. They call for the overthrow of capitalism.
Liberals don't call for the overthrow of capitalism. Socialists and communists call for the overthrow of capitalism. I don't think you know the difference between a liberal and a socialist and a communist. I don't think you know the difference. You should really, really read some Marx. You should really read some communist and socialist thinkers. Because you have no idea what you're talking about, bro.
They call for communism and socialism. They call for all of this cultural Marxist stuff, to sum it up in a phrase.
Cultural Marxism is mostly a myth. Like, you say cultural Marxism, it basically means anything progressive or liberal. Or what you would call regressive. I love how you, morph that phrase up to, be a part of your narrative. Cultural Marxism is mostly a myth, and it's only used by idiots like Sargon.
You know what I'm talking about. All of this intersectional stuff that is just designed to tear apart the Western liberal tradition is coming from the left. So it has to fucking stop.
Are you going to give any examples of these things that's going to destroy Western civilization?
Because that is the thing I think needs protecting more than abortion rights. Okay, you can't get an abortion. Oh, okay. It sucks. It sucks for you. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to have to raise my child. Oh, well, there we go.
Sargon, what if a person's raped? What if a woman, has incest and she's carrying her dad or her uncle or her brother's baby? What if she can't afford a baby? What if she's too young for a baby? These are things that occur not in the West. That women aren't allowed to get abortions when stuff like this happens in third world countries. It's such a staple of Western society to be more progressive leaning when it comes to abortions. Do you even know what you're talking about?
Millions do it. It's not the end of your life, for fuck's sake. You act like this, abortion rights are the most important thing in the world. No, they're the least important thing in the fucking world. Do you understand? Every other right is more important than your right to get an abortion.
I don't think that when it comes to abortion, it's the lowest thing on the pecking order. You just exaggerate things because you feel like it.
Fuck me. These cunts are shutting down free speech and free expression and free thought on college campuses.
So that's where I'm going to stop this video. In response to his last point, Sargon, you tried to sign a petition to try to get rid of social justice courses in colleges because you didn't agree with them. That's where I'm going to leave you there. I don't really feel like responding to the rest of it because there's 12 minutes left of his video, and my video would just be an hour long because I'm a chatterbox. But anyway, that's all I have. Sargon, let's be honest here. You're not criticizing the right because they pay for your livelihood, and if you started criticizing them, then you wouldn't have a livelihood. You'd have to get a real job just like everyone else. So, for the most part, they're keeping you comfortable, and they're keeping you on your ass. And that's all I have. Peace.